My name is Ollie. I'm 34 years old, and I live in Lahore. I work as a graphic designer in a small company. Life has always been simple for me. I go to work, come home, and try to enjoy the little things. I was never someone who asked for too much. I believe that love, trust, and peace at home were enough. I met my wife, Zara, 8 years ago. She was beautiful, smart, and full of life. From the moment we met, I felt like she was the one. We got married after a year of knowing each other. In the beginning, everything was perfect. We laughed, we traveled. We talked for hours every night. She was my best friend, and I thought I was hers too. But lately, something had changed. It started slowly. Zara became quiet. She stopped asking how my day was. She was always busy on her phone, smiling at texts, and quickly putting away when I entered the room. I told myself it was nothing. Maybe she was tired or stressed. Maybe I was just overthinking. But the distance kept growing. We didn't talk like we used to. We didn't sit together and watch our favorite shows anymore. She would eat dinner quickly and go to the bedroom, saying she had work or was feeling sleepy. At first, I tried to bring us back to normal. I planned a small weekend trip, bought her flowers, even cooked dinner one night. But she didn't seem to care. Her smile felt fake. Her eyes looked away when I talked. Still, I didn't want to believe anything was wrong. I loved her and I trusted her. But deep inside, something didn't feel right. My heart was heavy all the time. I felt like I was living with a stranger. Then one night, everything changed. I was sitting in the living room, scrolling through my phone, when I heard her voice. She was in the bedroom, talking on the phone, but in a soft, whispering voice. I couldn't hear everything, but I caught a few words that hit me like a knife. I miss you too. He doesn't know anything. I'll come when I can. My hands went cold. My heart started beating fast. I didn't move. I just sat there, frozen. That was the moment I knew something was very, very wrong. After that night, I couldn't sleep properly. Zara had no idea that I heard her talking on the phone. She came out of the room later, acting like everything was normal. She smiled at me, asked if I had eaten dinner, and then sat beside me for a few minutes. But my mind was not at peace anymore. Her words kept repeating in my head. I miss you too. He doesn't know anything. What did she mean by that? Who was she talking to? Was it just a friend? Or was it something more? The next day, I tried to act normal. I didn't want to make her suspicious. I wanted to observe her more carefully. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was all just a misunderstanding. But as the days passed, the signs became clearer. She was always on her phone, texting someone constantly. She would smile at her screen, then quickly lock her phone when I came near. Sometimes she would take her phone into the bathroom or go to the balcony to talk quietly. We no longer had deep conversations. Whenever I tried to talk about our relationship, she would change the topic or say, "I'm tired, Ollie. Not now." At night, she would sleep with her back facing me. The warmth between us had disappeared. I could feel the distance growing more and more, like a wall between us. One evening, she said she was going out to meet her cousin. I offered to drop her, but she refused. "It's okay," she said with a smile. "I'll take Kareem." She dressed up nicely, makeup, perfume, her favorite dress. I watched her leave, feeling a strange pain in my chest. Something was not right. I could feel it. I waited for a while, then quietly followed her using my own car. I stayed far behind so she wouldn't see me. My heart was beating fast. I didn't know what I was going to find. She didn't go to her cousin's house. Instead, she stopped at a small cafe on the other side of the city. I parked nearby and watched from a distance. A few minutes later, a man walked in, tall, well-dressed, maybe in his late 30s. And then I saw her smile at him, the same smile she used to give me. They sat close, talking and laughing. She touched his hand once, and he didn't pull away. I felt like someone had punched me in the stomach. I didn't go inside. I just sat in my car, staring, my eyes full of tears. I stayed there for a while, then drove home slowly, not knowing what to do. My heart was heavy, my mind full of questions. I couldn't believe what I had just seen. Zara came home later and acted like nothing happened. But I knew now something was going on. She was hiding something from me. And whatever it was breaking my heart. After seeing Zara at the cafe with that man, I felt like my world had turned upside down. I came home before her and sat in the dark, just thinking. My mind was full of emotions, anger, sadness, confusion, and fear. I couldn't believe that the woman I loved, the one I married and trusted with my whole heart, was hiding something so big from me. When Zara came home that night, she smiled and said, "It was nice catching up with my cousin." I looked at her and nodded. I didn't say anything. I just watched her carefully. How could she lie so easily? But I didn't confront her. Not yet. Part of me was still in denial. Maybe there was some explanation. Maybe I misunderstood what I saw. Maybe the man was just a friend. Maybe I was just being paranoid. But deep down, I knew the truth. The real fight began inside me. My mind and heart were not on the same side. My heart still loved her. I looked at her and remembered our old memories, our wedding, our long walks, our late-night talks. I didn't want to lose her. I didn't want our marriage to end. But my mind kept repeating her words on the phone and the image of her sitting with that man. My mind was screaming, "She is cheating on you. She is lying to your face." I became quiet. I started keeping things to myself. At work, I couldn't concentrate. My manager asked me if everything was okay, and I just forced a smile. At home, I stopped trying to talk to Zara. I didn't ask her anything. I just watched. She noticed my silence. "Is everything okay?" she asked one night. "I'm fine," I replied without looking at her. But I wasn't fine. Every day felt like a battle. I kept asking myself, should I ask her directly? Should I shout and tell her I know the truth? Should I check her phone again? Or should I just wait and see what happens? I couldn't talk to anyone. I didn't want to tell my family or friends. I was embarrassed, hurt, and lost. I felt like I had no one to turn to. So I started writing everything in a notebook, my thoughts, my pain, my confusion. That notebook became my only friend. I also started noticing small details. She would dress up more often when going out. She would get annoyed if I asked where she was going. Her phone never left her hand, even when she was cooking or watching TV. She started putting a password on it, something she never did before. The more I watched her, the more I knew this was not just my imagination. Something was really happening. But I still couldn't gather the strength to confront her. I kept hoping she would come to me and confess. I kept waiting for her to say sorry, to tell me the truth, to cry and ask for forgiveness. But that never happened. Every day, the distance between us grew. Every day, my heart broke a little more. And I knew, soon, I would have to face the truth, no matter how painful it would be. Days turned into weeks, and the pain inside me kept growing. Zara had changed completely. She was still living in the same house, still calling herself my wife. But I felt like I was living with a stranger. Her mind was somewhere else. Her heart no longer belonged to me. But I still didn't have full proof. I had seen her with that man in the cafe. I had heard her whispering on the phone. I had noticed the lies, the excuses, the sudden care for appearance when she went out. But part of me needed more, not just for myself, but in case she ever tried to deny everything. So I decided to gather evidence. At first, I felt guilty. I never believed in spying. Marriage is supposed to be about trust. But this wasn't a normal situation anymore. My trust was already broken. Now I needed the truth, all of it. One evening, when she was in the shower, I quietly picked up her phone. She had recently added a new password, but I had been watching her for days, and I noticed the way her fingers moved when unlocking it. I tried a few combinations, and finally, it opened. My hands were shaking. I didn't have much time. I went straight to her WhatsApp. There was a chat with a man named Sammy. The messages were full of love. "I wish I could be with you tonight. Ollie doesn't suspect anything. You make me feel alive again." I felt like my chest was being crushed. There were photos, too. Selfies at restaurants, texts with heart emojis, even voice notes. It wasn't just a short mistake. This had been going on for months. They had met many times. She had lied to me over and over again. I sent all the messages and photos to my own email. I needed to keep them safe. After that night, I became more careful. I started tracking her locations using a mobile tracking app one secretly installed. I watched her movements, and many times she went to the same cafe or to an apartment in another part of the city. She always had some excuse. I'm visiting a friend, or it's a work meeting. She never knew I was watching. I also placed a small voice recorder under the sofa in the living room, somewhere she usually sat when she talked on the phone at night. And one evening, I recorded her saying things like, "I can't leave Ollie right now. It's complicated. Let's wait a little more." My heart broke again and again. I had all the proof now. There was no doubt left. My wife was cheating on me, not just in secret, but without any shame. And yet every morning, she acted like everything was fine. She kissed me goodbye when I left for work. She smiled when my family called. She wore her wedding ring like nothing was wrong. I started to hate the lies. I started to hate the silence in our home. But most of all, I started to hate what I had become, a man pretending not to know, just to delay the pain. But I couldn't keep pretending forever. I was no longer confused. I wasn't unsure anymore. I had the truth. I had the evidence. Now I had to decide what to do with it, because sooner or later, the truth was going to come out. And when it did, nothing would ever be the same again. I had carried the weight of the truth for weeks. Every day, I held the proof of Zara's betrayal in my hands, but I didn't want to believe it. I loved her deeply, and part of me hoped there was a way to fix everything, that maybe she could explain herself, that maybe I was wrong. But I wasn't. One evening, after dinner, I decided I couldn't wait any longer. I needed answers. I needed her to look me in the eyes and tell me the truth. No lies, no hiding. We were sitting in the living room. The room was quiet except for the low hum of the fan. Zara was scrolling through her phone, acting normal, but I could see the tension in her eyes. I took a deep breath. My voice was steady but low. "Zara, we need to talk." She looked up, surprised. "About what?" I didn't want to waste words. I pulled out my phone and showed her the messages, the texts, the photos, the voice notes. Her face changed instantly. She went pale, then flushed red. "I know," I said softly. "I heard you whispering on the phone. I saw you with him. I read your messages. Please, just tell me the truth." Zara looked down, tears filling her eyes. Her hands trembled. After a long silence, she finally spoke. "I'm sorry, Ollie. I never wanted to hurt you." Her words broke me, but I had to know why. "Why, Zara? Why did you do this? Was I not enough? Did you stop loving me?" She wiped her tears. "It's complicated. I felt lonely. We stopped talking. You were always busy. I thought you didn't care anymore. Sammy made me feel alive again. I felt anger rising inside me. So you chose him over me? Our years together mean nothing." "No, that's not true," she cried. I was lost, confused. I didn't know what to do. I looked at her, feeling both love and pain. "You lied to me every day. You betrayed my trust. How can I ever believe you again?" She was silent. I felt my heart breaking. But I also felt something else, strength. For the first time, I knew I had to protect myself. "I think it's best if you leave," I said quietly. "I need time. I need to heal." Zara nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Please, Ollie, don't hate me." "I don't hate you," I whispered, "but I can't stay with someone who doesn't want to be with me." That night, Zara packed a small bag and left the house. The door closed behind her, and with it, a chapter of my life ended. I sat alone in the empty room, feeling lost but also relieved. The pain was sharp, but it was real, and sometimes the truth hurts more than lies. The house felt empty without Zara. For years, we shared this space, memories, dreams, even silence. Now, it was just me and the quiet walls. I sat on the sofa, staring at the place where she used to sit. It was strange how someone could be there one moment and gone the next. The first few days were the hardest. I felt a deep loneliness that no one could fix. The pain of betrayal mixed with sadness, making it hard to breathe. I kept thinking about all the times we laughed, all the promises we made. How did everything go wrong? I didn't talk to many people. I wasn't ready. I just wanted to be alone and understand what had happened. Slowly, I started to take small steps to heal. I cleaned the house, removed her things from the bedroom, and threw away the reminders of her. It was painful, but necessary. It was my way of telling myself that this was a new beginning. I also went back to my journal. Writing helped me express my feelings, the anger, the hurt, and the hope. Sometimes I wrote letters to Zara, even though I never sent them. It felt good to say the things I couldn't say out loud. Work became a way to keep my mind busy. My colleagues noticed I was different, quieter, more serious. But they didn't ask questions, and I didn't give answers. My family was supportive. They called often, invited me to visit, and reminded me that I was not alone. Their love was a light in the dark. One day, I met a friend for tea. He listened without judging. He told me that betrayal was a painful experience, but also a chance to grow stronger. His words stayed with me. Time passed. The sharp pain of the betrayal became a dull ache. The nights became easier. I started to sleep again, even smile sometimes. I learned a lot during this time. I learned that love is important, but so is respect and honesty. I learned that sometimes people change, and that's not our fault. I learned that healing takes time and patience. And most of all, I learned that I could survive this and come out stronger. I don't know what the future holds. Maybe Zara and I will never speak again. Maybe I will find someone new, someone who loves me and respects me the way I deserve. Or maybe I will find happiness on my own. For now, I'm focusing on me. This story is not just about betrayal. It's about the pain of losing someone you love, the struggle to accept the truth, and the journey to heal a broken heart. And though it hurts, I am still standing. Weeks passed and Zara left. Life was slowly getting better, but my heart still felt heavy. I was trying to move on, but deep down, I wanted answers that only Zara could give. One afternoon, while cleaning the house, I found an old envelope hidden behind some books. It was addressed to me, but I had never seen it before. The handwriting was Zara's. I hesitated, then opened it. Inside, there was a letter. Her handwriting was shaky, as if she had cried while writing. I read it carefully. She wrote about how lonely she felt, how our silence had hurt her more than anything else. She admitted the affair, but said it wasn't just about the other man. It was about her feeling lost and forgotten. Then the biggest shock, she said Sammy was not the man she thought he was. Zara wrote that Sammy had been manipulating her. He promised love and care, but he was using her for his own reasons. She said she realized this too late. She wanted to end the affair and come back to me, to fix what we had, but she didn't know how. She was scared of my reaction, afraid of losing me forever. Reading her words, I felt a mix of emotions. Sadness for her pain, anger at the betrayal, but also a small spark of hope. Maybe she wasn't as bad as I thought. Maybe she was just a lost soul looking for help. I tried calling her, but she didn't answer. Later, I learned she had moved to stay with her sister in another city. I thought a lot about what to do. Should I forgive her? Should I try to bring her back? Or was it better to let go and heal on my own? For days, I talked to close friends and family. Everyone said forgiveness is hard, but sometimes necessary, if it can bring peace. But I also knew that trust, once broken, is difficult to rebuild. The letter made me understand Zara's side. She was not perfect. Neither was I. Our marriage had problems we ignored for too long. I realized that maybe both of us made mistakes. Maybe we both needed help, but never asked for it. The truth hurt, but it also gave me clarity. I decided to write back. In my reply, I told her that I forgave her for what happened, but that I needed time to heal. I told her I wanted honesty, no more secrets. And I said that if she truly wanted to fix things, she should come back with a clear heart. I didn't expect an answer right away, but just writing the letter made me feel lighter. Sometimes the hardest truth is not about what someone did, but why they did it. And sometimes Understanding can be the first step toward healing. For now, I'm still on my own path. But maybe someday Zara and I can find a way to rebuild what was broken, if both of us are willing. Until then, I am learning to trust myself again. Months passed since I sent that letter to Zara. I didn't hear back from her. I don't know if she will ever come back, or if we will ever fix what was broken between us. But something inside me has changed. I am no longer the same person who once believed love was enough to keep a marriage alive. Now, I know love is important, but so are trust, respect, and honesty. I learned that sometimes people grow apart. Sometimes life takes us on different paths. And sometimes the hardest thing to do is to let go. I have started focusing on myself. I began new hobbies, spent time with family and friends, and even traveled a little to clear my mind. I found peace in small things, a morning walk, a good book, a quiet cup of tea. Sometimes when I think about Zara, I feel sadness, but I also feel gratitude. Our time together taught me a lot about love, pain, and forgiveness. I don't hate her. I don't blame her completely either. We both made mistakes. We both had regrets. But I choose to forgive not just her, but myself too. Life is full of surprises, and I don't know what the future holds. Maybe I will meet someone new someday. Maybe I will build a better life for myself, filled with happiness and trust. For now, I am healing. I am learning to trust again, in people, and most importantly, in myself. This story could have ended with anger and hatred, but I choose a different ending, a better ending, one of hope, because no matter how much pain we feel, no matter how deep the betrayal is, life goes on. We have the power to choose how we move forward. I am choosing to move forward. I am choosing to live again. And this is only the beginning of a new chapter.